Welcome back to the Anime Feast.
I don't have the hair anymore.
You do have a little bit of hair.
I have a little bit of hair, but
Just a
nothing
little
to
bit.
do. Nothing when I do the headbang. Nothing to show for it.
Yeah, guys, if you were here last week, the other week, Matthew Rabiel Sanji had just finished shaving his head for St. Jude's, correct?
St. Baldrick's.
St. Baldrick's. And now it's growing back a little bit. So we got a little fuzz up there. But yeah, guys, we are back with another week of the Anime Feast podcast. Appreciate you guys all tuning in, listening, and just being here to support us. As usual, I am Dom, or Athletic Geek.
Yep, we have
Swan or Ginta.
Yep, and Matt and BL Sanji 4, BL Sanji 44, all the above. McCloskey.
Type any of those in on social media, and you may or may not find him or his gamer tag. But this week we are going to talk about one of our loves, one of our favorites, one of our passions. That's of course One Piece. Again, which last week Ginta mentioned he was the Jehovah's Witness of the One Piece community. So
proudly.
So that is what this week will be about. We've got some greatness happening currently in the manga. So if you are anime only, this may be some spoilers. But if you're a manga and you're caught up, then you'll be right on board with us. But as we know, the Straw Hats are heading to Elbaf. They just got saved by the Giants, and they're on the ship. And the Sunny's right behind it, and they're going towards Elbaf. So we've got a two-parter today. The first thing we're going to talk about is this fan theory, or the multiple fan theories that Ginta found online. So we'll go through the Reddit posts and kind of talk about the different things they're saying and what we think may happen. And then the second little bit will be about the recent chapters that are, the Straw Hats heading to Elbaf. Maybe already being there, maybe not, who knows. But we'll get to that in a second. So with that, let us chitter chatter about where's it at? And then it was the Chrome tab, this one. There we go. Boom.
There you go. Added stage. And I like that. We'll
all right.
Using different layouts.
Where's the dark mode, my guy?
Brother, you're fine. Actually, I wonder if I can get dark mode on this one. Because I'm not logged into this. This is just.
Yeah, I'm not logged into it either.
Is that the Reddit app on the
computer?
Tab?
It's on a tab. It's not the Reddit app itself.
Yeah, I have dark mode. I'm not signed in. It may be your computer settings. I don't know if my computer is like always set to dark mode, so it's okay.
Yeah, sorry guys, gonna blind your eyes with non-dark mode. So StreamYard does still show you guys. Okay.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
We're down there in the bottom.
And then you can click on the whole page, on the whole thing, and they'll expand it.
Yeah, you can just click on the pictures.
But I want to do this. And then do this. Because you guys still see this. Okay. Sorry. I got everything on both screens, and it's throwing me off here. But, okay, guys. So, let's zoom in and talk about these theories. So, the fan theory says there are 4 possible paths for Usopp's power development. As we know, Elbaf is supposed to be Usopp's arc. He talked about it from the very beginning of always wanting to go to Elbaf and being, a giant warrior, yada, yada, yada. So now,
and that's where we are. Broggy.
Right. This is supposed to be Usopp's time. Granted, Wano was supposed to be Zoro's. Not so much happening there. Elbaf, we thought it was going to be, Egghead, we thought it was going to be Frankie's. Not so much happened there. But Elbaf is supposed to be Usopp's. Power up is supposed to be coming, and we just saw his dad do some crazy shit, so let's go. The 4 theories: Hammer of Thor, Apollo's Golden Bow, Usopp the Sun Thief, which I am very intrigued to hear what this one is, Haki development, and a Devil Fruit power up.
I don't like the terminology for the Devil Fruit power up. That means it almost sounds like he already had him, or Devil Fruit power, not power up.
Well,
He'll find his
once
power.
you read the theory, it'll make more sense.
Okay.
All right, so this is theory one. I guess I'll go through it. Usopp lifting Thor's hammer. So they're saying Usopp is going to lift Mjolnir and Elbaf. Obviously, you know Loki, King of the Giants, and Thor, Mjolnir. We'll see what happens there. He said, I'm just going to keep it that simple. That is what I believe is going to happen. And it's going to turn Elbaf on its head, maybe starting Ragnarok, an important event in Norse mythology, with Loki becoming the antagonist. Plus, Usopp has been known to use hammers as weapons, so it makes sense for him to have Thor's hammer. Maybe because he lifts Mjolnir, Usopp becomes a legend in Elbaf, and we could see Usopp receiving the loyalty of the Elbaf warriors, with Usopp possessing the strongest army in the world. Again, Usopp's lies turning into reality, which is just a theme across One Piece. And this could be a reason for Loki becoming the antagonist due to the power struggle in Elbaf. Again, Loki's the prince, or the king. I think he's a prince right now, king. He was going to marry off to one of Big Mom's daughters, the one that is friends with Nami.
Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte. And then Usopp becoming the commander of the strongest army in the world is going to put him on the world government's watch list, possibly ending with Usopp getting a bounty of 1.5 billion berries. That's insane. Let me say that. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't see that happening.
I just can't see him with.
Man, that's a theory. Go ahead.
I just can't see him unless it's kind of like was it King Arthur's sword, Excalibur kind of thing. It's like only one person can literally lift this.
Right.
Like, Usopp is by far nowhere near the strongest of the Straw Hats by.
But it's
probably
not
maybe possibly even the weakest of the Straw Hats for like strength wise. So.
But you got to remember, Mjolnir isn't based on strength. It's about who's worthy.
True. Because that's why Hulk couldn't lift Mjolnir, but Captain America could in the Marvel Universe.
But I do agree with the 1.5 billion berries is going to be Usopp's next bounty, because that was Luffy's second bounty. Or, like, I know another theory follows that. I think it's the Apollo's sun god theory, but of how Luffy has been mirrored, or Usopp has kind of been mirroring Luffy throughout this journey and all of his bounties.
I have to go look back. I don't.
Yeah, because like his first one was it 30 million for his first bounty.
Yeah,
that sounds right.
Usopp's first one was 30, and then it was 100,
and 150 when he turned to God.
No, it was 300. Well, because it's 300 right now, isn't it?
None of us have a computer in front of us. It's 500 million right now. Gosh darn, it is. Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't pay attention to that part.
Usopp is a real one.
He is a god.
Yeah, let's see.
30, 200, and
so the 200 was like slightly off. I thought it was 100, but like after, was it Alabasta? No, Alabasta. I guess he jumped up to 300 after Alabasta. Then he got 500 post 1-0.
Yeah, his first was 30. His second was 100. His third was 3. His fourth was 4. Then 500. Then 1.5. So I mean, yeah, if he's 500 now, 1.5 was the next for Luffy. So that's interesting. Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. I could see it just because Usopp hasn't used a hammer in a long time, and maybe he fakes it even, like, Mjolnir or something, in Elbaf. But he's a great liar and trickster, and that would honestly kind of feed into the Loki part. I could definitely see maybe he doesn't actually lift Mjolnir, but has a fake one that he lies to everyone to think that he has it, or it's just like a stalling tactic to stop Loki from doing something for a moment. So it gives like Luffy and the rest of the guys a chance to do what they need to do.
Is Mjolnir supposed to be at Elbaf? Like I don't recall ever hearing anything about
I don't
this
think
part.
so,
It's
but this is
a
just like,
theory
a theory. And then I guess
because there's
with,
Loki.
yeah.
Interesting. Polish said, "Who the fuck is Usopp? Who the fuck is Wampy?" No, Polish. One Piece. Usopp from One Piece, the greatest anime out there.
Facts.
Well, that's an interesting theory. I'd be intrigued to see if that's a thing. But just notice the subreddit. We can talk about Path 2. I don't care whichever one of you guys wants to read this one off.
Yeah, I can do it. So this is how Usopp will reach Yasopp or in Van Auger's level. So Usopp, the manipulator of observation hockey. I think a really fitting power for Usopp would be the ability to manipulate the observation hockey of others. This would mean manipulating future vision, so future vision manipulation, causing others to see false futures. Presence manipulation, the ability to manipulate the presence detection of observation hockey users. So that means manipulating hockey users to not sense the presence of yourself and or others. And then 2, causing hockey users to sense the presence of numerous people that aren't there. And then 3, manipulating the strength sense of others, making people's aura presence seem weak when they're actually strong, and making people's aura presence seem strong when they're actually weak. I think this would be very fitting for Usopp's character. Usopp is a straw hat that heavily relies on trickery, lies, and the manipulation in others to either run, hide, or win fights. And what better and more suitable power for Usopp than the ability to manipulate the observation hockey of others? Similar to Shanks being the killer of observation hockey, Usopp will become the manipulator of observation hockey.
I like that a lot. That's Matt, or like still like he's like one of you said that Loki and like Usopp, I think they just might become like best friends and just like take for tack and just bounce ideas off each other for being the tricksters and everything that they are, and to be like, oh, did you know you could try to do this with that? And he's like, oh, how about you use this gadget to pretend like you're over here, but you're actually over there. Use like other people's like powers, like Nami's like Mirage, like, oh yeah, if you try to use this technology, like I've made this for her just as a joke, but she's her weapon pretty nicely, so you can learn a thing or two from me.
Yeah, I like this power, but I don't think the only reason I don't think is that he would get this is I think it would take too long to master and really develop. Like, and even now, it doesn't seem like he really uses observation hockey actively. That's the only reason I don't think that this one is likely, but I would love to see this. I think this would be a super fitting power for him.
Well, I fully expect Usopp to obviously like power up his observation hockey in Elbaf because, as we know, he's supposed to have observation hockey. His dad has the greatest observation hockey. And then, of course, I mean, as it says here, Shanks is the killer of observation hockey, but Yasopp has, such great observation hockey. And in the movie, which is canon, he used his observation hockey to help Usopp, which was very interesting. If you guys haven't seen One Piece film Red, go watch it because it is canon. So very interesting things happen in it, and involving Usopp and his dad and observation hockey. Man, I never thought about somebody being able to manipulate others' observation hockeys. So like causing. Now I don't know how the first one would. I don't know how he would cause others to see a false future, but using it to maybe mess with people. I don't know. It's it's very interesting.
I can easily see him using it to mess with other people, though. Or like if he had the ability to do it, he would do it at his will.
Yeah, if he had the ability, I would especially see it for false presences, like saying like, "Oh, I have 10,000 people behind me," and then like giving the aura of like a big group of people. But it would take such an immense amount of hockey, I feel like, to even try and do something like that. But I don't know really the mechanics of how observation hockey works as far as like sensing others' presence. Like you can defend others against, someone else's conquerors hockey. So I don't see why you couldn't, possibly make more auras. But I feel like you would have to have like a super large source, but we don't know how. I mean, it's all life force, but Usopp does have a strong will to live. I will say that for a fact.
And I think I saw earlier today that the Viver card confirmed that the voice of all things is observation hockey, which I mean, like, I think we knew that, or if one of you guys thought that same thing, but that whole voice of all things is also observation hockey, which
Mm.
Kobe, Momonosuke, and Luffy, I think we know have like heard the voice of all things.
Wasn't Shirahoshi maybe or no?
I don't
I haven't
recall
thought
if
about
she
it.
could. I think I mean, obviously she's supposed to be a big important part because she's Poseidon, but I don't know if she heard the things like the sea beast talking, or Zanisha talking, or who else just talked? The robot talking. So
I guess Luffy was the only one that could hear the robot. Yeah, he was the only one that could hear the robot talk. Because the Giants were like, "Who are you talking to?" He's like, "I'm talking to the robot." What do you guys talking? You guys can't hear him. Like he's a obviously speaking robot. What do you mean?
Okay, voice of all things users: Luffy, Momonosuke, Zanisha, Three Eye Tribe. So
Interesting.
Sanji's
The three-eyed
speaking.
tribe.
The pudding. So
Pudding.
Mm-hmm. Gold Roger, Kozuki Odin, Joy Boy, and Emmett, which is the giant robot.
I'm less than people who can use Conqueror's
Yep. But okay, this is an interesting theory for sure. I'm all on board of. Actually, I did not do this. This is much better. Not really because it cuts off the
Actually,
bottom for you guys.
I can move us. I can move us. Go again.
Oh yeah,
there we go.
Perfect.
So okay. Oh, it had more. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Wait, there's more.
Oh wow. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to make this large. Not you, it's me. Now, if we start talking the topic of Van Augur, even with Usopp's manipulation hockey, it still isn't enough to defeat Van Augur. The only way I see for Usopp to be able to match Van Augur's teleportation is by developing Future Sight. Mm-hmm. Now, with the possibility of Van Augur having Future Sight as well, it might be possible for Usopp and Van Augur to fight. Be likely Luffy and Kazakuri fight, but it will be like a fast-paced Future Sight sniper showdown with Usopp developing the ability to see further into the future as the fight goes on. Usopp versus Van Augur final war. Just imagine the Usopp and Van Augur fight. Usopp becoming practically invisible by manipulating Van Augur's hockey and then showing him false futures of him getting shot multiple times, only to teleport to the place where he actually does get shot before teleporting again to safety, and then Van Augur, having awakened his devil fruit, shoots Usopp only to miss and warp his bullet back to Usopp again, just for a long nose to counter it. Van Augur is teleporting and sniping from everywhere and every distance, not giving Usopp the time to react or dodge, only for Usopp to have the future to see, react, move, and snipe while making Van Augur see false scenarios of Usopp countering, sniping, and trapping him at places he isn't whilst he teleports. These two snipers are so advanced and skilled at their job that every shot they make are on target but miss due to how far the two are seen into the future. With this, we could possibly see Usopp becoming one of the strongest observation users in One Piece.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, but
A
it
lot.
would be. I mean, that really. Yeah, I think it adds to it of like that Van Auger fight and how they just described it. That would be fantastic, and I could totally see it happening.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, like we definitely knew with Van Auger having that warp ability that, and him being the sniper of Blackbeard's crew, Luffy being the sniper of, Luffy's crew or Usopp. I don't know if I said Luffy. Usopp being the sniper of Luffy's crew, like we knew they were going to fight each other whenever that battle does come. So it does make it interesting that this is how like Van Auger with warping, Usopp would need future sight to know where Van Auger's going to warp to, in order to take him down. I don't know. I mean, Van Auger getting future sight as well or awakening his devil fruit, that does seem interesting. I mean, I think the Blackbeard pirates are working on awakening their devil fruits, so I wouldn't be surprised if he awakens his. But then it makes me wonder, like, what would the awakening be? Like, would it be kind of like what it's saying here? We can shoot and warp his bullet after the bullet's gone to somewhere. Like what's the extent of warping? Right? Like, I think he has to touch someone right now, right, to warp with them. So I wonder if like
Yeah,
he can warp without touching. I don't know. That's interesting.
That
maybe
or
he
be like,
creates wormholes instead of black hole. Like I imagine, sounds like black hole maybe, but no, that'd probably be um Blackbeard's power would be like a black hole manifestation. Um,
Blackbeard's awakened devil fruit. What would that be for the darkness?
but we don't know what any Logia's awakened power would be, or if by default Logias are awakened because you are just your bot. Like you, I guess you get the inverse of turning your surroundings into your power. You become your power. So like you become water, ice, magma, light, which it's also interesting to learn that you really have to actively turn that feature on and off when you're getting hit. So you can still get hit by normal bullets if you're not really aware of your normal body.
I was thinking Van Auger's like awakened devil fruit could be either like a double team, like he has multiple versions of himself since he has awakened, he can teleport anywhere, so he just looks like he's like an illusion. That or it'd be like Finral's from Black Clover, where he can just have all the teleporters open at any given time, and he can like almost
Just go through
like whack-a-mole style, and just
Yeah.
actually have to like hit him, find the right portal he's actually coming through.
Yeah, I was thinking like a wormhole type deal for him.
Yep.
So like,
Okay. I like the observation thoughts. Maybe not necessarily what they're saying, but I do like the observation path. All right, Matt. Path 3.
Path 3. Usopp's devil fruit options. During Elbaf, he finds a devil fruit. He decides to feed on the devil fruit to his slingshot. We still never got that answered in wasn't that supposed to be answered in the at Egghead, the how weapons are supposed to eat the devil fruits?
I don't know. I know it was like definitely part of conversation is like how do weapons
Because they
eat
have the
devil fruits, but
yes.
I don't know if that's supposed to be an egghead thing.
Well, I thought it might be answered at Egghead because of Vegapunk was the one who discovered that weapons can eat devil fruits and become. Sorry, that was a little side thing after reading that sentence, but then Usopp later finds out that devil fruit is the Hibi Hibi no Mi model Yamata no Orochi. So Orochi's devil fruit. His slingshot now has a devil fruit.
Okay.
Or that Kuma dies and his devil fruit spawns in Nami's tangerine garden. Usopp finds the devil fruit and eats the Naiku no Mi. So he gains Kuma's ability. That'll be. Or wait, there's more. He gets given Kuma's devil fruit first, and he eats it, becoming a devil fruit user. Then afterwards, during Elbaf, he finds Orochi's devil fruit and decides to give it to his slingshot. now ending with Usopp having both the power of 2 devil fruits.
No, that's fucking
Ah,
OD.
that would be
Yeah.
stupid overpowered.
That's
I
a
would-
crazy one.
See, I like the Orochi with the fading into the slingshot a little bit better than him gaining Kuma's power.
I wonder
I just don't
why.
see I don't see Usopp eating a devil fruit. He's gone this long anyway without doing it, so why all of a sudden?
I mean, he hasn't really. I mean, when have they, like, in this whole journey, the crew has not really been in access of any devil fruits
Correct.
at all. Like, it's still rare to, even though we see so many devil fruit users, like, you don't see very many devil fruits.
Yep.
The only time we even saw someone eating a devil fruit was
In Water 7?
Sabo.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, well.
Sabo. Yeah. So that was really, they have come across one, which was Aces in that competition where Luffy was fighting for it and then Sabo ate it. So that was really the only time that the crew has come across a devil fruit in this whole journey that they've had.
It's even crazier to think about now when kind of, I know we're talking about, like, I mentioned Blackbeard's crew all getting devil fruits, but they're setting out to do that. They found out a way to kill devil fruit users and get it. So that's different than just coming across a devil fruit.
Yeah.
That's not what Luffy's people are doing. And of course the slime fruits, the smile fruits, I mean.
Yeah. That was the only other.
I don't know about Orochi's devil fruit. I don't know how that would really work for his slingshot. Like, it doesn't seem like a power that makes sense for his slingshot. Having
Multiple heads, so multiple shots.
maybe,
but
but like,
then
what
he's
would they
like,
be able to
does he
shoot
like
out?
does he plan his slingshot then just goes to each head and like takes it back, or does
Right.
like the slingshot use like the heads as its own slingshot itself?
Right.
I don't know why that was the one they picked for this theory.
Yeah, that one's weird. Now, I do like the thought though of giving a devil fruit to his weapon, because obviously, like, Nami's climb attack has Zeus in it now. So, like, it doesn't have a devil fruit in it per se, but it was given the soul of Zeus. So, like, it does, kind of have a devil fruit in it. Kuma dying and him eating the pom-pom fruit is I don't like that theory. One, I don't need Kuma to die. Kuma's been awesome. He's smiling right now on the boat with his kid. Love it. Mwah, beautiful. Let him be. Also, that devil fruit makes 0 sense for Usopp. 0.
Yeah. Honestly, if it spawned, I see it going as one of the giants before Usopp takes it.
Yeah, but I do like his
slingshot eating
figure
something.
out how to give his weapon, probably the slingshot, Kabuto, a devil fruit. I love that theory a lot.
I'm trying to see what I could see. Honestly, the only one I could see is Green Bull's power. Like, that would be so appropriate for Usopp.
Yeah.
Like, if they could kill Green Bull, get a devil fruit power from that.
just have a bag of fruit ready for after when you kill an admiral.
Green Bull shows up to Elbaf. They find Blackbeard's blade, kill Green Bull, take his devil fruit, put it into Kabuto.
I like that.
Well,
let's get to the last one,
but not least. Path 4, God Usopp, Sun Thieves of the Mother Flame. Usopp is Luffy's shadow, which is what you guys talked about earlier on with the wanted posters and everything. You see them side by side here. You've got Luffy's first wanted poster, 30 thou.
Also, Usopp is in Luffy's. Usopp is in Luffy's first wanted poster.
Yep, right here.
And it almost looks like he's actually like mirrored. He really does look like he's like almost like mirrored behind him too.
So, and then of course the wanted poster here again, 500, 500. So this is interesting. And then, okay, Luffy punched Charlos back then, and it looks like Usopp, I don't know if this is real, I don't remember this, but hitting a Celestial Dragon as well. But let's read it. Usopp is Luffy's shadow. Now, what has become a common but unnoticed trope in One Piece is Usopp being Luffy's shadow. Occasionally in the series, Usopp and Luffy get themselves into similar circumstances, ending with similar outcomes, with the main difference being the paths they take to the outcome. For example, Luffy punches a Celestial Dragon, knocking him out, while Luffy falls on a celestial dragon, knocking him out. Luffy's first bounty is 30 million, and he eventually gets 500 million, while Usopp's first bounty was 30 million, and he is now currently at 500 million. Additionally, Usopp being in the back of Luffy's first bounty poster must mean something as well. Luffy became a true god of liberation in Wano, while Usopp became a false god of liberation in Dressrosa. Usopp does the same Nika pose as Luffy during the campfire dance in the Skypiea arc. I did notice that. This is just a quick list that I could think of, but there are more examples of this trope in the series. The main point, Usopp is Luffy's shadow. Okay, and in similar circumstances, like I said before, occasionally in the series, Usopp and Luffy get themselves into similar circumstances, ending with similar outcomes, the main difference being the paths they take to the outcome. So with that in mind, I believe something very similar to Luffy is going to happen with Usopp's power-up. We all know that Usopp poses in Skypiea when he does all the Nika poses with Luffy. What else? I theorize that Usopp will get a power-up closely linked to the sun god, the Greek god of the sun, Apollo. As seen in the snippet on the top right, Apollo has been recognized as the Greek god of sun. Other qualities include being the god of poetry, healing, music, plagues, knowledge, order, prophecy, beauty, agriculture, and archery. The reason why I'm making a connection between Apollo and Usopp is because there are a lot of very clear connections here. Between Usopp and Apollo, these are the very clear connections between the two. Obviously, prophecy and archery, no need to go further. Agriculture. Bro uses plants as weapons.
Bro here.
Right, I love that, bro. Sun and light. He is the shadow of the sun god Luffy. Okay, this page is just a bunch of little connections. Search Usopp as Luffy's shadow. There's a video about that. Usopp and Apollo from the Rocky Parallel. Okay, a lot of different reasons why he could be the same. Luffy and Usopp, the Sun Thieves. Like I said before, I'll say it again. Usopp and Luffy get themselves into similar circumstances, ending with similar outcomes, with the main difference being the paths they take to the outcome. Let's start talking power. The power-ups will come from Mother Flame. Interesting. I know about the theory suggesting that Luffy will eat the Mother Flame, and I wholeheartedly believe that will happen. But what I also believe will happen is that Usopp will gain a piece of the Mother Flame as well. While Luffy eats the main larger whole of Mother Flame, Usopp will somehow, some way, find himself of possession of a fragment of the flame. Usopp's weapon Kabuto will eat a fragment of the Mother Flame. In Greek mythology, Apollo's weapons were mainly archery-based. Apollo used a golden bow and arrows as his weapons. What I believe could happen is that when Usopp's weapon Kabuto eats the fragment, the weapon will turn golden, like with Apollo's weapons, becoming what I will call Golden Kabuto. Now, this I'm not trying that at all. Skipped right over that. Now, this Mother Flame power-up, I do not think will come anytime soon. In my opinion, I think this could be the very last power-up Luffy and Usopp get in the series. So, it might happen in the final war arc. I believe the Mother Flame is the last piece for Luffy to fully master his Sun God Nika fruit. So, that is why I believe it will happen in the final war. And with Usopp, if you are thinking that you have to wait to the final arc to get a power-up, no, that will not be happening. I believe Usopp will get a major power-up in the next arc, Elbaf. Woo!
That was a lot of taking too.
Spoke forever there.
Yeah, I like that. I like most of that theory a lot. I like him getting a golden bow, and then using the Mother Flame.
The only part I didn't like is like what they say, like Luffy was the liberation of Wano. Is like, but Usopp was the false of Dressrosa, but that happened way before Luffy went to Wano.
Yeah, but it's similar, same destination, different paths.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got Usopp, and then he's got the Sun God fruit. So
I guess I was thinking because like everything else he said, Luffy did first, and then Usopp followed. So that was for with the Wano and Dressrosa, it was vice versa on that one.
But Usopp fell on the didn't Usopp fall on the he
Oh,
fell
Celestia,
on the dragon before Luffy punched the other one?
that was maybe on Sabaody.
Yeah, that was Sabaody.
All right, because he doesn't have the muscles yet either. Oh,
Well, I
Yeah,
have heard this. I have heard this theory. I have heard the whole Luffy needs to eat the Mother Flame to become the full powered Sun God Nika. And I mean, it kind of makes sense. I think people did show like this picture Oda made with Luffy being on fire, Sun God. He had the orange power, but right now we know it's white here. So people are saying like he's incomplete, like a dwarf son growing up. I don't know if dwarf son's the right term there, but
White
like
dwarf.
yeah, and then like this would be the next, which would be eating the Mother Flame to then fully power up. We know the Mother Flame was something from the past, based on some of the recent chapters. So, I mean, very, very likely that this could be the case. I don't know if that then goes to Usopp and Kabuto getting part of the Mother Flame to then become like Apollo's weapons, but that could be really cool. But if we're also saying, Shadow though, what's not to say that there's a moon power out there somewhere that Usopp gets, right? Like if we're doing,
Yeah.
sun and shadow, why not be the moon? Um, it's cool though. Making him similar to Apollo and Apollo's weapons, and that's how Kabuto gets powered up. And to me, this more so spoke on just the similarities of Usopp and Luffy than anything else. But yeah, you guys, what are your thoughts?
Like I said, I like it. I think I like it the most out of the four. Well, probably a close tie between this and the observation hockey manipulation. Not necessarily the way he explained it, but you know, I could see him manipulating future sites, like giving false futures, just like he lies a lot. So he just creates a lot of bravado and then deception. So that just follows Usopp's character to a T. I think way more, but I could honestly, I could see both of them happening. So maybe he gets that future sight manipulation, and then he gets some kind of Apollo golden bow, or maybe he gets some kind of golden bow in Elbaf. So
yeah, maybe Loki gives him his final weapon too. I think him and Loki are gonna hit it off greatly at some point.
Agreed. I think so. I think they'd be friendly.
Yeah, because Dory and Bragi, they're gonna be like, oh, like Usopp, here, you got to come with us immediately to visit Loki. You guys will just two peas in a pod. You guys will get together and everything, and just you guys need to talk. You guys need to talk now. Unless Dory and Bragi don't talk to Loki, but I mean it's been over 100 years. But I know they've been back with Shanks and when Kid tried to get on there. But I'm excited. I'm just excited for that to just all this to start, and then. But I agree with Twan. Like the second, I think the observation probably has the most likely of happening of all four of these series. I do like the Sun theory afterwards, how he gets his final weapon, or like how like his final weapon is going to perceive into the end of EOS and the series and story. I think that's going to be a perfect weapon for Usopp. And I just look at the last picture of with the path forward. It's just saying God on top of it, on top of his bandana.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah. Then
I could. Oh, go sorry.
Oh yeah. Then I believe the first theory, the hammer one, probably third. Probably not going to happen. Then Devil Fruit. I'm still reluctant of Usopp getting a Devil Fruit. I guess maybe for Kabuto, but those two are not my favorite.
I don't see the Devil Fruit happening almost at all. But also, I could see Luffy with his awakened Devil Fruit and the ability to imbue other things, environments. He could end up empowering all the crew that use some kind of weapon. Even Sanji maybe like just enhances his foot or his shoe or something. But
put Toon Force on Sanji's leg.
Yeah. basically.
Or just give like a piece of the mother flame to like a little bit of everybody for whatever their weapon is.
Yeah, but
And then
exactly.
like hell becomes even more hell, I guess, for Sanji's foot.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to reach into Kaido's eyes, so why not imbue everybody else with the power?
Interesting. I have always figured that Luffy or Usopp will further his hockey development. So like that one to me is almost a guarantee. Like we know he's got observation hockey, but he hasn't mastered it. Like it was clearly pointed out when he was in Dressrosa, with the whole sugar thing, and like, oh my god, what am I seeing? I can see their shadows, or this. Like clearly he has observation hockey. We know this. So I think developing it is an absolute. I don't know if it'll be to the extent of the theories that were presented, but it'll still be cool no matter how he does it. And then I love the thought of Kabuto getting a devil fruit power, because again, that is something we talked about. We saw early on is that weapons can get devil fruits. We haven't seen it happen much since Spandam's sword being an elephant, but I think it would be really cool because then it could again diversify Usopp's weaponry even more, and then it could kind of go side and side. Like him and Nami are always right there with each other. So since Zeus is now in Nami's climb attack, it would be interesting if Usopp's bow also got some type of power. So love it. Think those are some pretty interesting theories. I'm not on board for the Thor's hammer thing. I don't know where that came from besides Loki. And the Apollo Mother Flame, I think that's just Luffy. I don't think it's going to be bestowed to others, but all great theories overall. But that kind of trolls us in, not trolls. Wow. That takes us into
trolls is
that takes us into the next, Matt. You were kind of mentioning this a little bit, but that takes us into the manga where we are currently. Those of you who have been reading, you know that they have successfully escaped Elbaf, they have successfully escaped Egghead thanks to the Giants of Elbaf coming to save them when they heard that the Straw Hats were at Egghead. They came on their ship. They helped fight the Gorosei. They are now on their way. Partied hardy.
Party. And Tuan and I have actually had the drink that they are having on the ship as well. Absinthe.
Yeah, the green fairy.
The green fairy.
It's like black licorice is disgusting.
It gets you lit a titty, let's say.
Or like if you see hallucinations, it's okay because it's the alcohol. And I was like, alcohol that makes you hallucinate is not okay.
It's deceiving too, because it's like a really like a clear liquid first, but you're supposed to put like a sugar cube and then pour some water on top of it. This is a little bartending lesson for anybody who's out there interested in this for absinthe. But then when you mix the sugar with the absinthe, it turns into a green color, and you stir that around, and yes,
do you set it on fire? You set the sugar cube on fire?
No, you don't. No, you drop the water. That's the sugar cube on fire is something different, which I'm trying to remember the drink.
Maybe it's something that I saw in a video or something. But okay.
Yeah, but the water drips, and then it's a fancy little spoon. It's like maybe like a spoon like that big with like holes in it, so the water can drip and the sugar water can mix in with it. It's a very cool process, but if you don't like licorice, do not drink.
And only drink it
black licorice. But I'm not sure if you've ever had absinthe.
I don't think I have, but I also hate licorice, so.
Nope, Tuan took one sip and it's like, not for me, and I'm down 2 of them, so that was an interesting night.
But yeah, they partied, they celebrated, because at first, they were all sad because Luffy didn't want to have a party because he thought he failed, because Vegapunk died. But then they were like, no, not Lilith. Which one was it? Is it Lilith? It is Lilith.
I think it was Lilith.
Yeah, she's the one that survived and was like, we are all Vegapunk. You still succeeded. Like, you saved me. cheer up. And the moment he heard that, he partied. They turned up all night, had a feast, had all the drinks, and when they woke up, Sunny was gone, half the crew was gone, which I hate. They always do this. Half the crew goes one place, the other half is somewhere else. But
they're always going to take Nami.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we saw like Zoro. I don't remember seeing Zoro. I don't remember seeing Sanji. I don't remember seeing Luffy.
Usopp too.
Yeah.
Usopp. I just remember
saying
seeing Robin.
It's like
they always take Nami though.
Yeah. But Nami
was Chopper there, or was he?
I don't think he was.
We saw Nami woke up. That's how it is. It's like someone saying, "Hey, Nami, wake up," and then she wakes up in a different outfit, and we're just kind of like, "Where are we?" And that's where we ended. So I'm intrigued. Maybe
it was like 2 days of rest too, which was really weird.
Right, and the Giants were surprised. Like the whole thing was like, "Hey, they've been traveling for 2 days, but they still aren't at Elbaf. What's going on?"
Unfortunately, I don't like this cliffhanger where he doesn't explain like what happened for him, even though he's going to answer it next week, or he should. Hopefully, he answers it next week. But
well, at least we don't have like a break, because this is usually where he would put us on a break, and I'm like, oh.
Well, maybe if there's a break that hasn't been mentioned yet, like not like Golden Week, but does he usually announce before Golden Week that they're on a break, or?
He usually say at the end of the chapter is like, we're on break next week.
And then the actual like breaks that the mangas have, like, it's not announced by Oda. It's just that those are the breaks they take. So like we all know not to expect a chapter for that week or two.
I just want to answer it already. I mean, is she on Elbaf, or are they going to stop at another island beforehand?
We don't know, but I was looking at the surroundings, and it kind of looks like, let's say, almost like Lego-esque.
I thought the same. The ground looks like Legos.
Yeah, so I was like, the only thing I could think is Capone, but it probably isn't that. But it doesn't look like a real house, like maybe a doll house or something like that.
Yeah,
that's something I definitely looked at her surrounding. I was like, that doesn't look like normal surroundings. Like, I think maybe the flowers look kind of Lego-esque, but yeah.
I did hear, or I saw a different theory, not involving Usopp, but that she is on Elbaf, and that she was taken by Loki because he wants a wife, and Nami has clearly been pursued as people's wives, including Absalom, who is RIP. But that was yeah, to the invisible perverted homie. But like that was a theory of like, some of the arcs kind of repeat a little bit, and the takings of Thriller Bark could be a little bit of what's coming into play here, and Nami could once again be taken to be someone's bride, against her wants. So maybe not what's happening right here. And I just don't know, because I don't know her in relation to the things around her. I can't tell if like the barrel, that was to her left or her right. I can't tell if that's big or small, right? I don't know how far she is from it to determine if like, oh, she's like close to it and it's just, or she's far from it and it's still huge because she is on Elbaf, or if it is like, no, they went to they got taken to some other island on the way to Elbaf, which I would hate that, just because like, let's get this done with. But it would be interesting to like uncover where they were taken between Egghead and Elbaf and who took them. So
just trying to think of Uruguay, the Sky Island person, maybe flew down.
Oh, Uroj,
thank you.
He is the he's the last one that we haven't been in contact with of the worst generation since.
Mm-hmm. And everybody else has either been like with the Yonko. Sorry, I was like, the big people? I was like, Yonko. Everybody else been with a Yonko, or at least like mentioned with the Yonko, got like a little backstory. He's the only one that we haven't got anything really backstory with. I guess Hawkins, we didn't get his true backstory, but he's the only one that's been so like the mystery of all the worst generation that we haven't seen.
Yeah, so he's due to come in. So this is as good a arc as any to introduce him back in.
It would have been interesting to have him back with Kaido's, just because I know like he was there beside Kaido on the Sky Island when Kaido jumped off. So like they talked to some degree or another. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how maybe he comes into play with Elbaf. I mean, obviously he can get bigger and stronger. It's one of his abilities. So maybe with the Giants, similar to a young Charlotte Lin, of having that.
Going on a rampage.
Except his is controlled. Ours was a fucking food blackout.
But yeah, overall, are we just talking about that portion or talking about the whole chapter? Sorry.
You mean what happened to Garp?
Yeah, I think that Garp is, well, I saw another theory that Garp is going to essentially be in a mirrored situation to Ace. So they're going to have a public execution for him. And then that's going to initiate the final war of like
Blackbeard's crew versus the Navy or the Marines.
And then Luffy comes back and interrupts that fight as well, and that's what
I'd be down to watch that. I'd be down for that to be.
So the Pirate Island would be like the Marine base for when Ace execution.
Yep.
Oh, that'd be weird.
But also, like, dude is the island, so that's another thing. The horn,
which is
guy.
A crazy crazy power to have. It's just being an island fruit. Like, come the fuck on.
Wait, wasn't that the fruit that Pika had?
No, he had like the stone fruit.
Oh, okay.
Because he like be stone and transform everything like that. That was part of the reason why
his is a level above Pika's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I was trying to think like Crocodile should do more with his power too, with the sand fruit, because I think that's even more like there's more sand than any of that other stuff, but any of the stone or island.
He was absolutely nerfed throughout the entirety of One Piece, but he's not supposed to be the main person, so
yeah. But his fruit is definitely OP. Like he can just suck all the moisture out of someone.
And then, do you think Aokiji went for the vitals and just happened to miss, or
nah?
He's cares for a little bit.
I think that there is an ulterior motive to Aokiji. Like I thought from the get go. Like I don't know what it is. Maybe it is like a sword type thing, but I could see him just having his own motive to like try and take down the current system of the world government because he doesn't like it. So what better ally than the Blackbeard pirates who have become so notorious and then honestly want to take down the current government system. And I could see him turning on Blackbeard as soon as they achieve that goal or as soon as they get close and he finds an opportunity. But I mean, even Blackbeard was like not trying to fuck with him. Like he's like, yeah, chill. Like he didn't mean it.
We had a big treasure of Kobe, but now you gave me a medallion of Garp. Like this, we can use this.
Not that, I mean, but obviously, I think he was trying his hardest in that fight with Garp because, I mean, Garp might be in on it, but he was like, y'all not gonna take Kobe. Like, he's the future of the Marines. That's his favorite grandson, honestly.
I used to think that Kuzan was still doing a little bit of theft, like stuff with sword, and wanting to help out. I don't believe Kuzan at this point cares about the Marines in the slightest, unless it was that Sakazuki gets killed. Like if Akainu's gone, then maybe. But I truly don't think he can. I think he 100% was like, I'm not letting Kobe go, and when Kobe got gone, he was like, Garp, I gotta take you out. And I think he maybe did really try to kill Garp, but it's Garp. Like Garp almost would have taken out Akainu if he wasn't held down by Sengoku. Like Garp,
I
like
think he
it's
definitely
Garp.
would have.
Yeah, it's Garp. So like
Monkey D Garp.
It's not an easy task. Like we said, it's not an easy task to take out Garp. So
yeah.
But it's still a prize that they have. I think he still has like a soft spot for certain people, right? Like he froze the daughter, right? So he did that, but I feel like he has the same thing towards like he had with Nico Robin, where he's got a soft spot. He's not gonna go out there and just kill for no reason, but he will do what he needs to do for the Blackbeard crew.
Yeah, and
for now, but I don't think it's for the Marines.
And that's the thing about.
Go ahead, Tom. No, you go.
I was gonna say that's the thing about his powers is that, like, he has the ability to take people out without actually taking them out. Like, I can freeze them, and then as long as they're not broken, like, I can just unfreeze them when I want to, like he did with Robin. Like,
and with Saul.
Yeah. With Saul. Like, yeah, he didn't kill his friend. He was like, I had to kill my friend, which there's a pretty similar parallel there between Kuzan and Kizaru with having to kill Vegapunk, yes.
Yeah, he was very upset about that.
Still think he could still be a double agent though, and that's why he traded out Kobe, because he gave Kobe intel to give to everybody else, and Garp had intel to give to Kuzan, but they just had to switch places. And the only way to switch places was during that battle to exchange information. Just putting it out there. And how other way would Kuzan be able to communicate with the Marines unless he traded one for another one? And just to still prove his loyalty to Blackbeard, like, yeah, sorry I messed up with Kobe, but hey, look at this. We have a legend here now.
A secret little transponder snail.
Yeah.
Drake got to do it under Kaido's crew for the longest time.
Yeah. That's not a bad one.
So far, I think everything we've seen, Aokiji, I mean, he's always with another Blackbeard member. Like, he's never not with somebody else who he can be like, okay, let me use the bathroom and just talk to the Marines real quick. Like, somebody's always like right beside his hip, making sure he's not doing anything sketchy for the Marines.
That's with all of it. I mean, besides Lafayette, like, we haven't seen any Blackbeard member out on their own. Well, there was Burgess, which...
Yeah. Also, remember, none of them are friends.
Yeah. They're all just working under Blackbeard.
They make that they mention that most of the times. They are not friends. They have a similar goal. That's it.
Yeah, and they're gonna make whatever Blackbeard's dream or goal is reality. But I want to see. Well, it has nothing to do with any of this. But I want to see Magellan come back. Like, I know he is probably not the warden anymore, which, like, his power is so OP. Like, I can't even see Hockey like really countering, because they're like, Hockey can counter any devil fruit power, and I'm like, which maybe that is how.
Great venom, poison.
Yeah, I was like, he almost took out Blackbeard that whole crew the first time. Like, they didn't get that antidote from Shiryu, they would have been done for. Blackbeard couldn't absorb it.
It'll be interesting. All this is gonna come back, and we all can theorize, and whatever Oda puts out, we're just gonna be like, that was genius. We're all missing the mark. He's like, you guys are so close to that bullseye, but you just can't hit it.
It's like, I'm just gonna give you all these hints that point in this direction, and then he's like a magician. He's like, this greatest tool is misdirection. He's like, oh, everything was pointing over here. You didn't see this other hand just working and digging in your pocket, taking your watch off.
Just doing right in front of our eyes, too.
I guess the next deception of the chapter was the Shanks and not Bartolomeo.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Interaction.
It's like he finally got his consequence for burning the flag at the random village that he stumbled upon.
Yeah.
Still the conclusion then. I said, me and Michael were talking about this at the lake house too. It's like, because like he stopped the King's Punch with this barrier power. How much power does Shanks actually have to break a barrier from Devil Fruit? Or who would have, who could get through that?
I think he got snuck. Honest, I think they got him before he could put a barrier up.
But I think also like Shanks' level of hockey is so proficient. Like, I mean, he's kind of just been shown to have like the current like strongest conqueror's hockey out of everyone in the series so far, besides Joy Boy.
Yeah, I mean, which is what they talked about when the robot did that. They were like, "Oh, this is stronger than Red Hairs," so that just lets you know how strong Shanks' hockey, conqueror's hockey, is.
Yeah, so I think that he would be able to cut a barrier by Bartolomeo.
I don't think so.
That's so hard.
I mean, it's a devil fruit power. Like Garp was able to unfreeze himself with hockey.
Yeah, he's just breaking ice. But this, like this barrier's purpose is to be unbreakable.
There's a lot of things.
Like even the person who had it with like when Oda was prime Oda, Odin couldn't get it through the barrier. And I know like obviously Shanks now like Shanks is stronger than Odin, but it's like I think they were really letting us know like you ain't getting through this. Which is why I think he just got like not necessarily snuck, but I think they did like they caught him before he could put a barrier up. Which again just speaks to the strength of Shanks' crew. Because also, if that were the case, like would he have then beat him up like he did, or would he have just if he broke through the barrier then just cuffed him? Because obviously they beat his ass, right? Like they cuffed him and beat his ass. That's why he was all beaten up, couldn't see out of one eye, bruised, big old bruise. And it was just him. His crew looked like they were pretty much okay. They just beat Bartolomeo's ass up.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably talking a lot of shit. Yeah. Let's be real.
He wasn't. That was badass. So he's like, "Oh, give this to Luffy. Like, we won't make sure you poison Luffy by a month's end." He's like, "I'll just do it. I don't care. I'm not giving up on Luffy."
He's like, "You should have just gave it to Luffy." But I mean, no one knows that relationship between Luffy and Shanks besides them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I knew that wasn't really poison. I was like, "This is not how they take out Luffy." Granted, like Luffy, we know has crazy poison resistance at this point in his life, but I was like, that's not actual poison because Shanks' crew wouldn't do that. So it was pretty cool for Bartolomeo to not know that and be like, I'm gonna drink it myself. I'm not gonna sell out Luffy or bring him into this because he never asked us to be under him. Like he didn't want this, so I'm not gonna drag him into this. Like this is my fault. I'm gonna take responsibility because it has nothing to do with Luffy.
Mm-hmm. I just well for him, but at the same time, like no, you fuck around, you found out, and he found out.
I was gonna say, do you think if he wasn't talking shit on the boat, like leaving, he's like, Red Hair is like actually really soft, and I was like, maybe he would let him go. It's like, oh, now I know he had to teach him a lesson, but
that's when Yasop. That's almost like the first time with Yasop we saw like Yasop's like, hey. We gotta remind them not to fuck around again.
Ben Beckman and Shanks were Gucci. They were smiling. They were happy. They're like, he really loves our boy. He really stands up for our boy. I was like, he is truly dedicated to Luffy. I love that. And Yasop was like, fuck all of that.
You gotta remember who he's messing with.
you gotta learn a lesson.
That's like the second time we've ever seen Yasop actually do something, and then he did something. He destroyed a whole ship in one shot. That's insane.
One shot
while they're sailing away.
Yeah, blew the thing to smithereens.
Yeah, I saw like a meme that was like Buggy talking like to Yasop. It was like, I saw you used to use my buggy balls.
Yeah, I saw that. Yasop uses buggy balls. Oh man.
I'm like, what kind of bullet do you have that blows up a whole ship?
Right.
He only had like a rifle that he shot the ship with too. That's what I'm trying
exactly.
to think.
Like you could put
not like a full cannonball or anything. The buggy ball requires No, he had the smaller buggy ball,
Yeah, the
right?
smaller
from the
buggy
shoe?
ball. Yeah.
Yeah, because he shot one out of his foot and impel down. He was like, "Oh yeah." Took out one of these devil guards. First time we saw Awaken's own fruits, right?
Yeah. Which look different than the Awakened Devil Fruits for zones now, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, because they don't have that black halo around them.
All right, boys. Well, great chapters that came out. Usopp Theory was pretty interesting. We'll find out over the course of the next year what happens. 'Cause I don't think Elbaf will be, but maybe a year and a half. So there's just so much more that we have to get through, and obviously Oda's trying to wrap this stuff up. So I think it'll be very information filled, but I don't think Elbaf will last longer than a year and a half max. Any closing thoughts?
Just I just when Otis like what maybe like 3 years ago, he's like, I think I have about like 5 years left of the story. No, you don't. Unless you're trying to JJK this up real quick. I don't.
Oh God,
we still got. When he said that, he meant more like another decade. I don't know.
And
that
chapter finally came out.
Just enjoying the ride, but that's what like I think about that. He's like, oh yeah, like 10 years ago, he's like, I might finish the story up in like 8 years. No, we're still sailing away. I'm very excited.
Just enjoy the journey. Honestly, I never want it to end, but I know it has to eventually. I'm just like,
yeah.
You got 20
the
more
friends
years,
you made
right?
along the way, right?
Hey, I did make it through all the way.
Yeah, that's what's going to be great to say is that like we made it.
Mama, we made it.
Yeah, right. And then of course cry like Matt. But all right, guys, it was another good episode. Happy to talk about this stuff. Obviously, our favorite topic of One Piece. We shall reconvene, stream probably in 2 weeks. I am open for next week if anybody wants to, but 2 weeks for sure. We'll let you guys know. Closing remarks.
One Piece is the best. Forever and always.
Oh yeah. Crap. I don't have my phone on me and I can't remember. I started a new manga because I was bored, and it's an Exorcist one with the guy with the crossed arms. I'm like 5 chapters in, and it's adorable right now.
Adorable.
I can't remember the name of it. It's like Kiyoshi, but he's like an exorcist and he fights demon lords, and that's a pretty nifty backstory. But that's a recommendation I want to put out there for my closing remark. I will look up the name and I will get it out there as well.
All right. Well, guys, be sure to follow us on social media. Be sure to follow us here on Spotify if that is where you are listening today, or YouTube if you're on the YouTube channel. Much love, much appreciation, and we look forward to having you guys all tune in again. Until next time.
Stay hungry, my friends.
Peace.